Welcome back to the shop. It is day 54 if I'm counting right, and not a lot has happened in a very long time. Happy New Year's to everybody. It's been since before Christmas when I did the last video. Actually, since the last time I was in the shop. Well, not entirely true. My wife's family all came out and we brought them all here and gave them a tour. And I'm sure they think I'm absolutely insane for doing this, but they'd be right. They had a lot of questions, and very nice time. Before we came out here, we actually went to a restaurant and lubricated them a bit before they got to see all this. Good side of that is I got the shop all clean. It is weird being back after such a long break. We've had Christmas and New Year's and skiing holiday in the French Alps, which was incredible. And now I'm back here facing the same old problems I left. No magic fairies came in to do the work when I was gone. Surprise, surprise. So I need to get to work. I need to decide what I'm going to do and what order to do it in. One thing I know I need to do, I need to get the bottoms, I need to find out the name of those, the little outer part that goes below the door, because it welds to the sill before it gets painted and primed and all that. So I want to get that on. Then what I'm thinking about doing, instead of jumping right into sandblasting the chassis, is to get all the body panels fit and fixed, get the rust fixed on those, and then doing the sandblasting then I'm sure that the metal work will be done, and then I'll be able to do the sandblasting and then prep those. I won't sandblast the outer panels. I'll do those by hand, but then I'll be sure that all the metal work's done, all the pieces fit where they're supposed to. There's probably going to be some bits that blow through from the rust as I sandblast, but I can fix those after. But then I would have the majority of all the metal work done. I'd be sure that it all fits together well before I, start spraying. So that's kind of my plan. It's a rough plan. I just kind of made it up. But I think that's the way I'm going to go. It's rough coming back to work after being off so long. But I am excited to get going again. It's been sitting here too long. Need some work. Alright, I'll keep you updated. Yeah, this is too good not to show you. So I'm playing with a Fender. I should be doing other stuff, but I couldn't resist. I pulled out some sheet metal. There were about 2 pop rivets holding that in there, and they used that to kind of form the back of the Fender. Then they started laying on Bondo. This is entirely filler. Look at that. Look how thick that is. This is the whole corner. Just Bondo. It didn't stick to this galvanized steel, so it just basically popped off. I've never seen bodywork done so poorly. So now this is the original metal. So I'm trying to carve up into the door to see where the real metal is. by popping off this this Bondo. It's wow, just unfreaking believable. You know, Bondo isn't that cheap either. They must have been using it by the gallon. When I would pick this Fender up and move it around the shop, it felt too heavy, and this is exactly why. They must have been buying it by the 55-gallon drum. Absolutely crazy stuff. I do have the this repair patch panel. Hopefully it goes up high enough to cover all of that. Wow. I knew this would be bad, but it's just shocking. Just absolutely shocking to see it. So it's better to get all the bad news at once. So I'm gonna attack this other Fender and see how bad it is. Rust-wise, it doesn't look as bad. Looking at the interior parts, especially the little flanges over here, and it does have all the bottom, though. Like the other one, it has a bunch of sheet metal and Bondo in it. So I'll dig into it and find out. Yeah, I got worried when I was digging into this because they had steel or galvanized steel all the way up through here, but really it appears just to be along this bottom edge. Even the inner flanges are pretty good. This bottom one's bad, but yeah, that's not so bad. Maybe I don't think I'm quite ready to dig into the back fenders yet. That's a little too scary. Maybe I'll keep working on these. The reason I'm doing this is just to see how their repairs were getting in the way. Their repairs, I use that in air quotes. Their repairs were getting in the way of this fitting on the door, onto the car where it should go. And so I had to take it off to put it in the right place. I know, I said I wasn't going to attack these back fenders. I'm not going to attack this back part right here. But I needed to play with this. And wow, it just come off in one piece. This is another piece of galvanized that was pop riveted in place. One rivet, and then packed with Bondo. You know, the typical thing. So, broke that rivet off. Well, there might have been two rivets. Yeah, there's one there and one there. You know, extra secure. So it just popped off. This was here, all rusty. Marked it with tape, cut it off. Oops, sorry, hold on. I have the replacement part, much bigger. If I try to just put it in place, it doesn't work. This is a door gap along here, so if I hold this, so it's parallel, makes it parallel all along there. This corner should line up with that one, so it's about there. We end up with this curve where the wheel well goes. Now, as you see, it disappears behind here by ½ inch. Sorry, can't see that very well. See down there, it's about a ½ inch off. Whereas up here, it's a ½ inch on the other side. Yeah, it would be a little bit more, a little bit less, because this will scoot over a millimeter or so, but it's not enough to make up that difference. So, you know, once again, it's paneled, it's awful close, but That just ain't right. I don't know how else to say it. It just ain't right. My plan is to cut diagonally here, but it'd be nice. I found under here there was about a quarter inch of Bondo, which is okay, but it's not great. So I sanded it down to see where I could get. There was a big dent in here. Now it's crowned a bit. So, it'd be great if I could use this whole panel like it was supposed to, cut it off, and not have to deal with all that. But now, because it doesn't fit, I have to, cut it off down here and work all this until it's smooth. Bondo also went up into the body line, so that's all screwed up now. Well, it was screwed up to begin with, but I now have to make the body line. If anyone who's ever done that before knows, if you can avoid touching the body line, don't touch it. Don't get Bondo near it. Just prime it and paint it. If it ain't dented, don't mess with it. It's bad. So I'll have to figure that out. Okay, so I trimmed this piece off, and now I'm gonna weld it onto here. Let me back up so you can see where it is. So I'm just clamping it roughly in place. Need to trim that a little bit on the corner. This corner looks okay. I'm gonna leave it there. There's a few right in here. It sunk down, but I don't want to grind it down till it's too thin. This is all gonna have to get bondoed over anyway, just to smooth it out, because it's wonky. Anyway, that's enough for now. I've got the shape in the right place so I can put it on the car and get the panels lined up. And that was the point of all this exercise. Yeah, okay, I know what you're gonna say. He's grinding a Fender with a flap disc. Oh my god. Yeah, a couple things. Grinder's going really slow, heavy grit. Trying to just hit the Bondo. Once I hit the metal, I move away. It's the only way I could think to get through this Bondo after Bondo. History-wise, archaeology, it looks like there was a crease through here that they've spot welded the things and pulled on it. That's kind of interesting. And once again, my panel's too short. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's 3/16 short or something like that. So my plan is to cut along here, stay away from this wheel arch, and with that cut off both pieces, I just cut this one a bit long, and then I'll end up with enough to fill the width. The hard part is going to be adjusting, getting the height set correctly. Here's a quick tip for all you out there who have significant others who are supporting your crazy projects. Give something back. Over the holidays, doing a lot of cooking for the family. realized that my wife, who loves cooking, had these pot lids, the cheap IKEA things, that the handles had fallen out. She was using a knife to like get under here and then try and take them off, and it was all hot and stuff. So I remembered I bought a TIG welder. So brought these into the shop today and did a little spot weld on them to get them stuck back together. Missed a little bit, got enough of it. So that'll hold. So give back to those who are supporting you. So I told you about some of the cool stuff I did for Christmas, but I didn't tell you about some of the stuff I got. Some of my family bought me gifts related to this project. For example, my wife bought me this Austin Healey only parking sign, which reminded me I had this vintage Sprite advertisement. And then my son bought me this really cool wrench, which tastes good too. not finished, but metalwork's done. Yeah, so I think if you're patient and saw all that time lapse, just imagine me going through it in real time. Ended up butt welding this here. Have a little low spot here, and this is lap welded because this had this this step, so that'll get filled with body filler, and it'll be nice and smooth. There's still a lot of waviness in this Fender. A low spot there, high spot, low spot. So it's gonna need a lot of work still. But you know, at least it's much better than this. This is what came off of there. Remember that? That's where it was. And you see how much it just rotted off, really. It's quite remarkable. Before and after. If you like this video, click the like button below. If you want to come along on the ride as we complete this project, click the subscribe button. If you want to make sure Google reminds you every time there's a new video, click the alarm bell. Your support is very much appreciated.